Hey guys, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to you a brand new fancast video where I'm going to be choosing and talking about which actors and actresses could play different heroes in DC's cinematic universe. Now, this video marks the first time in over 2 years that I've done something like this. In fact, the last time I did a fancast choice video was for Spider-Man Homecoming sequel at the time, which we now know as Spider-Man Far From Home, and that was the last time I did something like this. And the reason for that is I've been very busy with other stuff on this channel, but I've been itching to do one of these for quite a while, but it's just a matter of picking the right people who I think would be best suited for these characters. And this also marks another first, as this will be the first time that I'll be choosing actors and actresses to play villains in DC's cinematic universe. So, with that all said, this is just going to be purely for fun, nothing more, nothing less. There's no right or wrong choice here. These are just my choices on who I think could work in the cinematic universe, and we're just going to have some fun here. This is just going to be a laugh, so this should be very, very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth into this. So we are going to kick off with my first choice, Ryan Gosling as the Green Arrow / Oliver Queen. Now, with the Arrow show finally finished for good, there has been rumours going around about the idea of bringing the Green Arrow onto the big screen. Now, I'm not sure how that could work, and I'm not sure how they could pull that off, but if they were going to, I would definitely go with Ryan Gosling as Oliver Queen. I mean, he looks the part, he's in great shape, he's a tremendous actor, and he's been in lots of films: La La Land, The Nice Guys, Song to Song, The Drive, Blade Runner 2049, which in my opinion was one of his best performances to date, and I think he could really pull it off as the Green Arrow. As I said, he's in tremendous shape and he can do lots of fight scenes, and I think the time is more than right to bring the Green Arrow onto the big screen, especially with all the success the character has had on television. So if they were going to cast anyone, I would definitely cast Ryan Gosling. He's the man. So let's move on to my next choice, Kat Dennings as Poison Ivy. Now, this is for a shout out to my good buddy Chris. Now, Kat Dennings is very, very attractive. She's very talented and she's a very bubbly, fun actress. And I think if you was to paint her green, put a costume on her, I think she would make an excellent Poison Ivy. And I think the best way to do that is to bring her in with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn in a Harley and Ivy movie. So if they were going to cast Poison Ivy, I would definitely go with Kat Dennings. She's hot. Carl Urban as Hawkman / Carter Hall. Now, Hawkman is one of my favourite DC heroes and has been for many, many years. And I would love to see Carl Urban play Hawkman. I mean, he's got such a gruff, badass look with the beard, and he's a great actor. He was great in Star Trek. He's currently starring in The Boys, and I think if you was to put a gold mask, he ripped up a bit more physically, I think he could really make a convincing Hawkman. I mean, as I said, he's a fantastic actor, and I would just love to see Hawkman on the big screen, and I think he would do an amazing job. And while we're at it, here's another choice, Julianne Moore as Hawkgirl, Shira Hall. Now, I know Julianne Moore is getting on a bit, but she's still very good looking, still very, very sexy, and she's an amazing actress, and I think that she would make an excellent partner for Carl Urban, and I think those two would match up very, very well as Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Now, Julianne Moore, she's done it all. She's been there, she's seen it all. She's starred alongside Anthony Hopkins in all the Hannibal movies, and she's very, very versatile. And I'm not sure what she would do in fight scenes, but I'm sure they could work around that, especially with CGI and stuff. And I think she would do an excellent job, so I would definitely cast Julianne Moore. And I think the best way you could bring Hawkgirl into the DC cinematic universe is maybe introduce her at the end of Hawkman's movie in a cameo role, so to speak, and that sets it up for the sequel where we see Hawkman and Hawkgirl working together, and I think Julianne Moore would be absolutely perfect. Now on to the Green Lantern Corps. James Marsden as Kyle Rayner. Now, James Marsden is no stranger to superhero movies. He played Richard White in Superman Returns. He played, of course, as we all know, Cyclops in the original X-Men movies. And I've always thought that James Marsden is an amazing actor, but he never really gets to strut his stuff, so to speak. We never really get to see him showcase his ability to the fullest. And I've always felt in the X-Men movies, James Marsden took a back seat to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. And I'm not knocking Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, he was the man, but I just felt the way Cyclops was written for James Marsden, they made him a bit of a pussy, so to speak, and we all know Cyclops is the man in the comics. So what better way for James Marsden to not only redeem himself, but actually play one of the main Green Lanterns in his own solo movie. And I think he would make an excellent Kyle Rayner. I mean, he looks fantastic for his age. He's not that old. He still looks good. He's an amazing actor. And I think he's got that personality, that cocky personality and that grin. And I think that would work very well for Kyle Rayner. As we all know, Kyle Rayner is quite a youngster at heart. He likes to show off and things like that. And I think he could really capture the essence of that character. And I think he will look absolutely incredible in the Green Lantern costume. So if they were going to bring in Kyle Rayner's Green Lantern into the cinematic universe, I would definitely choose James Marsden. He's the man and he's my pick. And not just that, but I feel Marsden deserves that opportunity. Jason Winston George as Jon Stewart. Now, to some people, they may not know who this guy is. He was one of the stars of Sunset Beach back in 1997 to 1999. And I just saw a recent picture of him, and he doesn't look any different. He's still in fantastic shape. He's still very active. I mean, I haven't followed all of his stuff. I know he appeared in another show called What About Brian, but I've seen recent pictures of him. I think he's nearly 50, or he might be 49 or something, but if they were going to cast anyone to play Jon Stewart, cast Jason Winston George. He's a fantastic actor. He's very, very cool. He's a great guy. He's got a great look. He's the whole package. Now, I know me and my friend have always said to each other, Idris Elba should be casted as Jon Stewart, but he's been casted in the Suicide Squad movie, which is coming up next year. I'm not entirely sure who he's going to play, but I did hear he could be playing Bronze Tiger, so we'll have to see. But I think the time is more than right to cast Jon Stewart, and Jon Stewart's my favourite Green Lantern, has been for many, many years, and I think Jason Winston George would do an amazing job. And not just that, I think he would look really, really badass in the Green Lantern costume. So DC, Warner Brothers, if you're hearing me, cast him. That's all I've got to say. The time is now to do it. Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan. Now, the last time we saw Hal Jordan on the big screen, he was played by Ryan Reynolds. And no disrespect to Ryan Reynolds, but that Green Lantern film was a pile of crap. It was terrible. So I think what better way to redeem quite possibly the most iconic Green Lantern of all time is by not only rebooting him, but cast Nathan Fillion in that role. Now, Nathan Fillion, to a lot of people, he was in Serenity and he was in Firefly, and he's an amazing actor. He is such a nice guy, he's such a cool actor, and I think he would make an excellent Hal Jordan. I mean, he's not that old, he's still in great shape, he can do fight scenes, and I've seen him in Firefly and Serenity. He was an absolute badass, and I think having him as Hal Jordan and making him the leader would be, a tremendous thing to do, because he showed that he's more than capable of leading an ensemble, and there's no bigger ensemble other than the Justice League than the Green Lantern Corps. So if they decided to bring in Hal Jordan onto the big screen again, then I'll definitely cast Nathan Fillion. He's absolutely perfect, and I think if you look very closely at him, he does resemble Hal Jordan a little bit, so I think he would do an amazing job. So just as I said earlier with Jon Stewart, cast Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan. Make it happen. Now my next choice is going to be very interesting. Daniel Craig as the Atom / Ray Palmer. Daniel Craig as the Atom has been in my head for quite a few years, and the Atom is not really that well known outside of comic book fans. He's currently in Legends of Tomorrow / Arrowverse, and he's played wonderfully by Brandon Routh, and Brandon Routh is getting ready to leave Legends of Tomorrow. So in hindsight, the door is wide open to bring the Atom into the cinematic universe. And also, Daniel Craig is wrapping up his time as James Bond in the upcoming 007 movie, No Time to Die. So what better way than to bring a big gun like Daniel Craig into the DC cinematic universe by casting him as the Atom. Now, the reason why I've chosen Daniel Craig is because he's got that look to him. He looks like he could be a businessman / scientist, which is what Ray Palmer is, and I think Daniel Craig could bring that serious nature back into the Atom. And I'm not dissing Brandon Routh's portrayal of Ray Palmer. He's done a great job, but he's been portrayed more as comic relief in recent years. So I think by bringing the Atom into the cinematic universe, we can get some of that scientific, serious nature back into the character, and I think Daniel Craig is the perfect guy for the job. And the thing with the Atom is he's not really a fighter, he's more of a thinker. I mean, he can fight, but there wouldn't really be much to do with him. He's more about using his brain and his gadgets and his shrinking ability, so he would definitely be my choice to play the Atom. So, as I said already, DC, if you're planning on making an Atom solo movie, cast Daniel Craig. Trust me, it's the right choice. And not just that, the star power of Craig alone would definitely put the Atom over in a very big way. Naomi Harris as Vixen. Now, Vixen is not that known outside of comic book fans. Not a lot of people are familiar with the Vixen character. She's been around a long time, since 1981, and her power is through a necklace, what she calls the totem, where she's able to channel the strengths of all different animals. So, for example, the strength of an elephant, the strength of a bear, or the strength of a tiger. So she's able to have these abilities through this totem, channeling the spirit of animals. And I think Naomi Harris would make an excellent Vixen. As I said with Daniel Craig, she's been in my head as Vixen for a good few years, and having seen her performance in the recent 007 films alongside Daniel Craig, I think she would be absolutely perfect. I mean, she's not that old. She's in her early 40s. She's in tremendous shape. She's very, very attractive, and she's a great actress, and she would be absolutely perfect. And I think, in my honest opinion, she would look very, very sexy in gold PVC or the leather orange outfit. And I think if you cut her hair very short, I think she'll definitely look the part. Me and my friend originally said for years that it should be Halle Berry, but I think we should keep Halle Berry away from superhero movies for a long, long time. And I'm not dissing her, but she's been there and done that. Let's give it to someone else. And I think Naomi Harris is perfect for the role, in my opinion. Now, my next choice, Ben Kingsley as Ra's al Ghul. Now, officially, on the big screen, we've had one person play Ra's al Ghul, and that was Liam Neeson. Now, I would love to see Ben Kingsley play Ra's al Ghul, because Ben Kingsley is a legendary and respected actor, and I think he could bring that class to Ra's al Ghul. And, you know, Liam Neeson was awesome as Ra's al Ghul, don't get me wrong, but I think Ben Kingsley could take it to the next level, and I think his Ra's al Ghul, if he was casted, would be kind of more like how the character was in the Batman animated series of the 90s, where he's very well spoken and he's very, very calm. And I'm not saying Liam Neeson wasn't, but I think Ben Kingsley can definitely look the part of Ra's al Ghul, and I think he can do an amazing job, and he's very, very good at playing bad guys, as we've seen in the past. So if they were going to bring in Ra's al Ghul into the cinematic universe, I would definitely cast Ben Kingsley. And there wouldn't be really a lot you could do. I mean, would you give Ra's al Ghul hair or not? I mean, I don't think he would need hair. I think with a guy like Ben Kingsley, I think all he would need to do is just grow a big long grey goatee and you're good to go, really, and just put a green robe or a suit, depending on what look you want to give him. But I would definitely cast Ben Kingsley in that role. He would be absolutely perfect, in my opinion. Patricia Velasquez as Talia al Ghul. Patricia Velasquez has been in my head as Talia al Ghul for many, many years, ever since I saw her in The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, and especially in The Mummy Returns, when she appeared as Imhotep's girlfriend in the black leather. It was like I just saw Talia come to life before my very eyes. Her look, her hair, her accent, the whole presentation. To me, it was like they just pulled Talia from the comic books and the cartoon and just brought her to live action on the big screen. And Patricia, she's very, very attractive. She's very, very talented as an actress. She can fight. She's the whole package, and I absolutely adore her, and I think she would make an excellent Talia al Ghul. And we've only had, on the big screen officially, we've only had one Talia, and she was played by Marion Cotillard. And no disrespect to the lovely Marion, but she didn't really feel like Talia to me. She didn't look like Talia, and she done a good job. I'm not taking that away from her, but I don't know, really. I just didn't quite click with her as Talia, and plus the way that she was introduced was a bit dry, in my opinion. So I think if Talia is ever going to appear in the cinematic universe, whether that's a Batman film or any situation, then I would definitely cast Patricia Velasquez as Talia. She would be a dream come true for me, and she would be my dream choice to play her. So DC, Warner Brothers, if you're planning on bringing Talia back, cast her. It would mean so much to me. It really would. Make it happen, DC. Make it happen. Dickhen Lackman as Nyssa Al Ghul. Now, this young lady is probably not that known to a lot of people. Some of you might recognise her face. She appeared in Neighbours many, many years ago, and she starred in the Netflix TV show called Altered Carbon, Now, the reason why I've chosen this person is because Nyssa Al Ghul is not very well known to a lot of people unless you've watched Arrow or you've read the comic books, and Nyssa Al Ghul has never been on the big screen, so another first. And I think casting Dickhen Lachman as Nyssa Al Ghul, I think she would match up very, very well with Patricia Velasquez and Ben Kingsley, so it would be a very interesting dynamic to see on screen. And not just that, I think Dickhen Lachman has got a great look and she's in great shape, and I've never really seen her in many fight scenes as far as I know, so that would be very interesting. Now, I'm not saying Nyssa Al Ghul's got to have a big role, maybe just a cameo and expand it from there, but if they did bring her into the cinematic universe, I would definitely cast her. She would be perfect, and I think it would be an interesting one because not a lot of people know about the character and they don't know much about the actress either, so it's a win-win for me, so cast her, that's all I'm going to say. And now for my next choice, Kevin Bacon as Reverse Flash / Eobard Thawne. Kevin Bacon, what can you say really? Kevin Bacon is a legend, very respected actor and a fantastic one too, and I think he would make an excellent Eobard Thawne. I mean, he's really good at playing villains. Watch him in X-Men First Class, he was absolutely fantastic as Sebastian Shaw, and I think he could channel that sinister creepiness of the Reverse Flash and bring it to the next level, but onto the big screen. And I think having him as the Reverse Flash, I think would work in a Flash movie. So if they're thinking about bringing in Reverse Flash onto the big screen as the main villain, they should definitely cast Kevin Bacon. I mean, he would look amazing in the suit, and I would like to see them do something similar to what they did with Tom Cavanagh's performance in the TV show. Maybe take a bit of inspiration from that and take it to the next level, because Kevin Bacon, he can really act his ass off, and he's very, very versatile, and he's been in loads of movies, and you know, as I said, he's no stranger to superhero movies, so cast him, that's all I'm going to say. He would be my choice to play the Reverse Flash, in my opinion. Here we go. Jensen Ackles as the Red Hood. Okay guys, I think we can all agree on this. He wants it, I want it, you guys want it, Warner Brothers, DC, this needs to happen soon. Now, Jensen Ackles is no stranger to the Red Hood. He done the voice of the Red Hood in the 2010 DC original animated movie called Batman Under the Red Hood, and he was, in my opinion, the best thing about that movie. The way he was able to channel Jason Todd's anger, bitterness, rage, darkness, everything about the Red Hood. Jensen Ackles did an amazing job, and as I said already, he was the best thing I loved about that movie. His voice acting performance was just off the charts. I mean, what more could you really say? And you know, Supernatural's almost wrapped up now. It's on its last season, and I think if DC decide to do a Red Hood solo movie, they should just cast Jensen Ackles and get it over with, because there is no one else I can think of who can play the Red Hood better than him. I mean, sure, there's probably lots of good actors who could do a good job, but I don't think anyone could do it as good as him. I mean, his voice, I mean, I saw a picture of him on Twitter that he did in cosplay, and my god, I think the whole world just exploded. He needs to be casted, and I can't think of anyone else who could pull it off better than him. So I'll say this again, DC, Warner Brothers, if you're planning on making a Red Hood movie, cast Jensen Ackles. He could be DC's answer to the Punisher. Trust me, it can work. Make it happen. Nikolaj CosterWaldau as Jean-Paul Valley / Azrael. What can I really say, really? Nikolaj is a tremendous actor. I loved his work in Game of Thrones as Jaime Lannister. He was one of the best things I loved about the show, and casting him as Azrael is a risk worth taking because Azrael / Jean-Paul Valley has not appeared in any animation. He's not appeared in any live action in any form. He had one appearance in one of the Arkham games. I think it was Arkham City, but it wasn't Jean-Paul Valley, it was another version of the character. So by casting a known, respected actor into the role of an unknown character, basically, I think could work, because I think Nikolaj could really channel that rage and bitterness that Jean-Paul Valley has, and I've always wanted to see an anti-Batman on the big screen, you know, a Batman gone mad, taking out villains. So Warner Brothers, DC, if you're listening, cast him as Jean-Paul Valley. Trust me, it would work. And not just that, Game of Thrones fans would lap it up. I know I would. And not just that, it would be something new, something we've never seen in a DC movie before. Olivia Munn as Zatanna. Now, Zatanna's been around a very long time. She's a powerful magician, full of tricks and stuff. And if they're going to go into the magic side of the DC universe, then I would cast Olivia Munn. I mean, she's very talented, incredibly attractive, very, very sexy in my opinion. And she played Psylocke in X-Men Apocalypse, and she was incredible. She looked like she was pulled out of the comic books and brought into live action. I mean, she done an amazing job, and she can do fight scenes. She really can. Just watch her in X-Men Apocalypse, you'll know what I'm talking about. And Zatanna, outside of comic book fans, she's not very well known. She has appeared in Batman the Animated Series, she was in Justice League Unlimited, and she was in Smallville, but that's it. She's had very few appearances, and I think she was in one game on PlayStation 2, but she's had a few appearances in the media, but she has yet to grace her magical presence on the big screen. So I would definitely cast Olivia Munn, because she's proved that she can have her own movie, and she's done a lot of good stuff as well, so I'll definitely like to see that. And not just that, I think she would look really, really hot in the Zatanna outfit, the fishnets with the high-heeled boots and the magician's jacket and everything. I think she would look really, really good, but that's just my opinion. We'll have to see if they're even thinking about doing a Zatanna movie, because I haven't heard anything about that, but it's something I would love to see. And if we do get that one day, then I would definitely love to see Olivia Munn be casted. It would be a really good choice in my opinion. And there you have it, guys. Those are my choices for who I would like to see be casted for DC's cinematic universe. So with that all said, I'm going to wrap this up now and leave this here for all of you. What did you think of these choices? Do you think they would be suitable to play these characters? Or do you have choices of your own? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see you all next time for more fan casting. So till then, take care everybody.